Hey guys, this is Rod C. It's time for Ask a Lender. Guys, it's great to be here with you today. This is Rod C. with the Rod C. Mortgage Group, and we got a great topic. Matter of fact, this topic is so great, it's actually going to be like a 4-part series. You're like, oh my God, Rod, here we go again, right, with these series, right? Somebody somewhere told me that I probably should have been a pastor, right? Because I always got a 4-part series going on. But the next 4 episodes of Ask a Lender, what we're going to talk about is how to choose a loan officer. Well, the easiest way to choose it is just to call me. Now, I'm just playing, right? But at the end of the day, right, the lender is the most important, or one of the most important, I'm going to say not the most, but one of the most important parts of understanding how your mortgage process is going to flow, right? Most people, they start off with 3 different ways to start their whole mortgage processing, mortgage buying process, right? There's about 3 different ways that people do it, right? Most people, they don't start off with the insurance agent first, or they don't go talk to the inspector first. What they do, number 1, either they find a real estate agent, find somebody that's in the real estate business, and they go talk to them first. Some people do that. Majority of people, that's how they do it. Some people, what they do is they drive around a neighborhood, and they find a house that they like, and they start it based on the house that they like, right? Number 2, the third way, and a lot of people do this too as well, is they call up a bank, call up a mortgage company, call up a lender like myself, and they start the process that way, right? And I'm not saying either way is right or wrong, but I would say to you, as a buyer, I would say being in a position to contact your lender prior to anything. And let me explain to you why I say that that's the most important way to do it, right? If you call up, or if you go out and you find a house that you fall in love with, maybe or maybe not, that might be the house for you. That house may come with a payment that you like, may come with a payment that you can't really afford. Maybe that's not the area of town that you really want to be in. Maybe that house won't even be for sale by the time you're ready to buy a house. So it's really tough to start looking for homes and you're not really understanding where you stand from a mortgage standpoint. Bottom line. Also, people start with the real estate agent. Well, in this market, with so many people out there, with so many people trying to buy a house, starting with your real estate agent, the first thing they're going to do is say, hey, I can't really do anything for you until you talk to a lender. That's any realtor worth their salt will put you in touch with a loan officer from day 1, right? So really, even if you talk to a real estate agent, even if you do, if they're good, they won't even have a conversation with you without you understanding and having a conversation with the lender. Now, they may be in a position to recommend some lenders to you or whatnot, or you might get recommendations from family, friends, coworkers. It doesn't matter. But your first stop is always going to be at the lender. So let's talk through why that's the case. Why is the case that you're going to talk to your lender and really have that conversation up front before you talk to anybody else, right? Well, step number 1, not everybody, but some people got to understand if they're even qualified. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. They've rented for most of their life, if not all of their life. They don't really understand that process of what it means to be qualified. Some people think, oh, if I got a 500 credit score, I'm good. Some people think I got to have a 700 credit score. And really, at the end of the day, those types of guidelines change all the time. That's something that your lender needs to talk. Some people say, hey, I got to have 20% down to buy a house. Some people don't think they have to have any money to buy a house. Those guidelines change all the time. So at the end of the day, you got to know what you qualify, or if you qualify. And a good lender will not just say yes or no. They're going to tell you how to get qualified. They're going to give you a game plan and a roadmap to be qualified if you don't. Some of you guys out there may already qualify, and that's great and that's awesome and I love it, right? But you want to talk to your lender first so they can understand if you're in a position to qualify. The next thing that the lender's going to do is they're going to walk you through how much you qualify for. Now, and when I say this, I don't really also say that that's a lender's decision, right? Because the lender may say, well, how much do you want to pay? One of the first things I do when I talk to my clients is I ask them, what do you pay now? And what are you comfortable paying going forward? Because I can tell you what you can max out at. You might max out in your payment, you might can pay $3,000 a month. But does that mean that's what you want to pay? Especially if you're only paying $1,000 a month in rent now. Even though you may qualify for $3,000, going from $1,000 to $3,000 may put you in a position of strain on your lifestyle, what you got going on, things like that. So at the end of the day, not just understanding if you qualify, the lender should help you understand how much you qualify for or how much the payment that you want looks like in terms of a house. Because now what that does, it puts you in a position where you know what range, what area, where you need to be when you start looking for a house. Because the worst thing in the world, and this happened, I've seen it happen many times, where people go out and they look for homes and they fall in love with the big house, the $500,000, $600,000 or $600,000 house, and they thinking that payment is going to be $1,200 or $1,300, and that's not the case. I would much rather you understand what type of house and what price house you need to be looking for. Fall in love with those, because it's real hard. I'm gonna tell you guys, it is really difficult to go from $500,000 and $600,000 down to $250,000. It's just really hard. Or even $250,000 down to $150,000. That's almost impossible. So now you become discouraged because you saw the house that you love and you want to be in, but that's not the payment. The lender's job, I'll tell you the lender's job. My job initially is to let you know two things. And it's a dichotomy. It's kind of trying to figure things out. How much payment can I truly afford? And not even afford. How much payment am I comfortable with a house that I'm comfortable with? Like, it's one thing to say, man, I love my house. I love it to death. It's awesome. I love it. I love my neighborhood. I love the people here. I love everything. But the first of the month, you're in tears because you got to pay the bill. But then also on the flip side, you don't want to be in a position where, hey, I can afford this. My payment's great. I love it. I love all that. But now you're afraid to go outside in your neighborhood because you bought that house. So it's always that dichotomy of figuring out how much house and payment am I okay with, and finding that house that I love to stay in, right? So at the end of the day, that's the lender's job to make sure we do that. Also, too, not just if you qualify, not just how much, but then also a position, how much do you need to save? We all know when you buy a house or buy anything, part of that is actually coming with a down payment, closing cost, or understanding if there's programs out there that's going to help you with your down payment and closing. When you rent a place, they tell you up front, hey, we need first month and last month's rent. So you got to start figuring out, okay, how do I put together that amount of money? Well, the lender's going to talk to you, a good lender's going to talk to you about how much money you also need to have in the bank, in cash, whatever the case may be. So not just if you qualify, not how much, but also how much money you need to save in order to do that, right? And then at that step, once you got all those things down and your game plan is together, you know exactly what you want to do, then that lender can help you, because we know agents all across our particular area. And we can find agents that not only fit you from an area standpoint, because they might be experts in this market or experts in that neighborhood or experts in that city, but then also experts in the type of loan or the type of customer that you are going to be, right? If I know an agent and they deal specifically in jumbo loans, then when I have a jumbo customer, I'm going to send that person to them. I may not send the first-time home buyer to an agent who specifically works with jumbo customers. If I have an agent that's, let's say, on the south side of town and that's experienced on the south side of town, well, I'm not going to pick somebody from the west or far west to drive an hour and a half to work with that particular customer. It just doesn't work that way. But us as loan officers, we'll have all that good, really, really good information, and we'll be able to find that agent that fits you from an area standpoint, as well as fits you from a type of loan, type of customer, what box you fit into, type of real estate agent. I have agents all the time. They specifically work with first-time home buyers. That's great, because if you're a first-time home buyer, I got a list of agents in all different parts of the city that I can help you with. No different with jumbo, no different than renovation. I know agents that do renovation loans. That's what they do. They know they have contractors they can put you in touch with and inspectors, things like that. So it's super important that, number one, you start with the lender. That's the most important piece. And I always say this is very important. I want you guys to hear me on this, right? All lenders and all mortgage companies are not created equal. So if you talk to a lender or a mortgage company, and for whatever reason, they say you don't fit the box. They said this is not for you. They said, hey, won't you try and think about something different? That doesn't mean it can't be done. That just means you have to go a different direction. My philosophy, and I always believe this, Exxon, Mobil, Shell, and Racetrack, they all could be on the same corner. They all sell gas, but the price may be different because that's how they choose to do their business. And all lenders make a choice on the type of customer, type of area, type of loan that they want to specialize in. So guys, that's it for me today. This was part 1 of Ask a Lender, the best way to choose your loan officer. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Please reach out to us on social media, send us an email. And as you all know, my philosophy, everyone and anyone can purchase a house.